Hello and welcome to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton, and welcome to a match preview for the Carabao Cup fixture against Southampton that takes place tomorrow at 7:45 at Goodison Park. I was hoping to come into this a bit more positive with an Aston Villa game, especially with how it started, but typical of this team this season, look at how it ended, another defeat from 2-0 up, which at this point is it really even a surprise. But we're here to talk about this game. Well, we'll have to talk about the Aston Villa game at first. I think this one's had a lot more positives at first. I think Dwight McNeil's goal was great. I think there was some stability in the team at the start, but then I felt like, as usual, as that first goal went in, it felt like the confidence was sapped once again. Michael Keane with just a disaster class of horrid defending. Ollie Watkins, I think any other defender who's competent, Ollie Watkins doesn't even try to go for that header. But because it's Michael Keane, he knows he's probably got a good shot beating him, ends up scoring. And then the rest of them, second goal, no surprise really. That Duran goal, probably going to go down as goal of the season, to be honest. I think that's just our luck, really, isn't it? When we're clawing on for a point that could be the confidence builder, Duran decides to whip out goal of the season, a contender to Garnacho's goal against us, and just, kill our hopes. But yeah, speaking of Garnacho, ironically, Garnacho was one of the goal scorers against Southampton in a game where Man United looked completely dominant, to be honest. Southampton had their moments, mainly in the first half, I'd say, but I think towards the end of the first half, the middle of the first half, they had a moment where they looked like they might be able to get something from the game, but they weren't able to in the end, losing 3-0 to a distinctively average Man United side, with Delete, even Rashford getting in the goals and Garnacho getting one in the last minute. But yeah, I think Southampton are probably the only team in the league that are contenders at being just as bad as us. Haven't won a league game so far either. Have only scored one goal in the league, and that was against Brentford in the 94th minute from Sugawara. Again, a goal that really means nothing besides building confidence. The thing is with Southampton is they're looking at if you look at their XG and you look at their possession, they're a side that keep the ball. They're able to create chances, but they're not able to put them away. It's the same story we saw from Southampton in the Championship in the first half of the season, where they were able to create chance after chance after chance of like 70% possession, but they just couldn't put it away, and that's what they're doing so far. Their only actual win this season has been a 5-3 win against the Cardiff side that has been extremely disappointing in the Championship, and even then they gave up 3 goals from 0.6 XG. And I know, again, I come on this channel quite a lot and say I'm not a big proprietor for XG and stuff, but it is a damning sign if that's how badly you're performing under expectation. And I think they're probably just as bad as us right now. I wouldn't say worse, but just as bad. The thoughts going into this game, it's two teams that are desperate for confidence and are probably going to go all out against each other because of it. I think it's one of those where both teams really need a win against the Premier League side to prove that they belong here. I think we need to prove that we can beat the teams around our level. Leicester have been better than expected, but still are probably around this level. And if we can't beat Southampton, what hopes do we have of beating the other teams around us, to be completely honest? So I think it's one of those where both teams really need this. Both teams' managers could be gone if they don't win this, to be honest with you. I know there's a lot of things about Dyche and they want to keep him because he's got good credit in the bank for keeping us up, but can you lose every game in a season except against a League 2 side and really keep your job? No, and I know people say there's not many better managers out there. There probably is better managers out there than Sean Dyche. We're not talking about Carlo Ancelotti or something here. We're talking about Sean Dyche. But I think it's one where both teams are going to be desperate to win. I think it's going to be back and forth. I think we're going to see a lot of Southampton on the ball, and I think that's going to annoy a lot of fans. I think Southampton are going to control the game and control a lot of elements of the possession anyway. And I think it's just about us to catch them on the counter-attack and try to see them off. I can't see many changes from our lineup here. To be honest, if I have a look at our last lineup against, I could see something very similar to that, to be honest. But Mikalenko being a doubt probably means Ashley Young goes in at left back. Hopefully, Roman Dixon's in at the right back. But I think it's going to be Pickford. I'm going to go with my hope and say Dixon goes right back with Tarkowski or Bryan. Maybe a cameo from Bramthwaite if he's ready. Ashley Young at left back. I see it being Garner robbing him this time. I think Idrissa Gueye is going to get a rest again. He's like 34. He really shouldn't be playing 40 games a season if we could help it. And then I think the front four, I actually think he's going to rotate Harrison as well. I think he's going to be Lindstrom and Dye, McNeil and Beto up front. Calvert-Lewin's been pretty good in the last 2 games. Got one against Aston Villa. I think he performed well against Aston Villa as well. I think a lot of people highlight the miss, which he shouldn't have missed, but at the same time, I think it's one of those where he got the goal. It was a good goal as well. Rose really well, was able to put it away really well. And I think Calvert-Lewin's had a good past 2 games. I think it's now about, hopefully that means the confidence is there for him, which is why I could understand him starting against Southampton. I could see Dyche being like, if you can get maybe 2 against Southampton, that's a really good confidence booster. That's 4 goals in his last 3 games. So I could understand that, but I think it is going to be Beto. Beto usually seems to start these cup games, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's Calvert-Lewin. But yeah, that's pretty much what I think it's going to be. Southampton's lineup. This comes from the Daily Echo, local paper in Southampton. Hopefully it doesn't do me in like Opta did last time by saying that House was going to start for Villa. But this is what the Daily Echo think it's going to be. McCarthy in goal, Bree at right back, Howard Bellis, Wood, Charlie Taylor, Leslie Ogochu, I can't say his name, Ogochukwu, Joey Rebo, Will Smallbone, Maxwell Corday, Ryan Fraser, Jacob, Adam Armstrong. I don't know why I said Jacob Armstrong. That's what they're saying. Again, that's a heavily rotated side compared to what played for Southampton in the last league game with no Sugawara, who's arguably their best player, no Cameron Archer, who really caused us problems in the last game we played against them against Sheffield United, no Brereton Diaz, who I know has been a bit of a bad luck charm, no Steven, no Walker Peters by the looks of it. You know, most of Southampton's best player. I can't imagine it will be that exact lineup. I can imagine people like Walker Peters that will be starting because, again, I said both teams really need that confidence boost. Who will our key player be? Southampton are a team that like to control possession and they like to control the ball in the midfield. So we're going to be relying on a lot of counter-attacks and dribbling to keep possession. Again, I think I said Ndiaye last game. I'm going to say Ndiaye again. Ndiaye or McNeil, your pick. We're going to need someone who can quickly start counter-attacks and can get the ball into the box quickly while Southampton are pushing men forward to try overwhelm us. So I think that's it. I think it's that simple. I think Corners. I think Ndiaye's control of the ball and his ability to dribble with it is going to cause real problems in the final third if he's given the chance to do that and isn't forced out wide. I just think McNeil's played really well against Aston Villa, but I think McNeil could still play that well out wide, while I don't think Ndiaye can play that well out wide as he can in the middle. And I think it'd be silly to just stop playing Ndiaye in the middle. I think it could be a real good confidence boost game for Lindstrom, who's still trying to get used to English football. I think a good performance against Southampton could really help his confidence, so that'd be nice to see. But Southampton's key player, going off this, I could see Joe Aribo causing us real problems. Big physical midfielder who again, still technically gifted, can control games himself when he's at his best. And I think Joe Aribo could have a real impact for Southampton against us, especially with how much our team likes to capitulate. Someone who can dribble with the ball while offering that strength to hold it up. I think our defenders, with how bad they've been this season, could really struggle with that, and I think he offers an aerial threat too. So yeah, I think Aribo is going to be Southampton's best player. If there are any Southampton players watching out of the lineup I gave or what you think the lineup's going to be, please drop in the comments down below who you think your key player is going to be in this game. I think I've mentioned it's really important that we need a win. Again, this is Dyche's job on the line. If we don't win, I think that's it. And Dyche, I think the fans have turned on him fully then. I think there's still a lot of people fighting Dyche's case, myself included. You know, I've said at times and with frustrations that I think he should go, but that's because I don't think he's a bad manager. I just think he's slowly losing the changing room. And I think if he loses it, there's nothing he's going to be able to do. You've seen what it's like when these Everton players put their tools down. They're not able to no one's able to get anything out of them. And I think Dyche is slowly losing confidence from the players. Again, Aston Villa are a Champions League level side. Have had a really good start to the season. They're still 5th in the league, only losing 1 game to Arsenal that they probably shouldn't have lost, to be honest. So I think it's one of those where the spectre of bottling another 2-0 lead is there, but also it's against a very good side. It's nothing like the Bournemouth game, Bournemouth are 11th, so still doing pretty well, but and nothing compared to Aston Villa right now, to be completely honest with you. But yeah, I think Dice really needs this, and I think he's going to be desperate for a win. I think it's going to go really badly for him, to be honest. And the score prediction, I think we're finally going to get a win. I think Southampton are going to control the game and they're going to go 1-0 up early, but I think we're going to be able to get 2 goals in relatively quick succession and be able to hold on to the lead. So I think Everton 2, Southampton 1, and we'll go for it. Everton goals are going to come from Illiman and Dye and Jesper Lindstrom. Let's be positive. And then I think Southampton's goals are going to come from Adam Armstrong. But that is all for this video. If you did enjoy, please make sure to like and subscribe. Follow us on Twitter at Everton Newsfeed and follow me on Twitter at Callum Brannan3. And I'll see you all for the next video and or live stream that I am on. Goodbye, everyone.